Today, we are talking to an entrepreneur that went from being an electrician to running a nationwide repair and maintenance business, turning over £4 million. His name is Reiss Taylor-Remblance, and today we're going to hear his story, learn how he built his business, and get to the bottom of whether repair and maintenance is a good business to get into. I'm James Martin, and this is Entrepreneur Conversation. Reiss, thank you very much for coming in. I know you're a very busy person. You've got this monster of all these people around you. Tell me, how many people have you got working for you now?
So as of today, we've just hired another 2 people today. I think we're up at 52 is our employee count. Yeah.
The pressure is on.
The pressure is
the
on.
Responsibility is on. As an entrepreneur, you've got to look after all these people's
making sure that
mortgages and life and everything else. Do you find it pressured?
Yes and no. Obviously, you have a responsibility to all your staff. Obviously, that's what I want to make sure that all of them are provided. But I know in my heart of hearts that we're good at what we do, and so long as we just keep pushing and keep growing, that they're going to be safe, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so and the work's going to come in. And stuff.
It doesn't cause me any sleepless nights.
I do remember back in the day when we had Ruskins, and that was a national business. You know, we had we probably had 450 people working full time, and you kind of knew that we had an MOD contract, so that was good. You could always lean on that, and we had sort of councils and local authorities and stuff like that. But it still did feel sometimes that you'd see that there wasn't that much work in, say, the January period, and the weather was crap, and this and that, and it felt a bit pressured. You know?
I mean, one of the things, again, exactly that, with electrical, it does drop off in Christmas, but where we've added on sort of the plumbing and heating side, that goes through the roof in January. So where we've got the multi-divisions, there's never really a lull.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to be the next Charlie Mullins? Are you going to be...
I've just seen he started at the WeFix in London, hasn't he?
Has,
I don't know if Charlie Mullins is who I'm aiming for. I want to be sort of like the next Mighty, the next CRBE.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's where we want to go.
Reiss, explain to our audience and listeners and viewers, what is it that you exactly do? What does the business exactly do? Do that bit.
Okay, so our business is predominantly property maintenance services.
Okay.
So I started on the trade as an electrician, and the services have just grown. So we offer everything for private landlords and property management companies and social housing companies, for example. Right. So we are a one-stop shop, similar to like a Mighty, a facilities management company, that we can do plumbing, heating, roofing, fencing, garden works, electrical, fire. We do everything.
And everything. What you have those teams in sort of categories of that's what they're up for. Set up for.
Yeah, we last year we set up divisional to make it more sort of accountable within the business, because it was just a mess having all the engineers in one group, so to speak.
Right.
So we've now got divisions that have got divisional managers, and they look after their team of people. So there's like a
there's
gas,
like line managers down to what
exactly,
they do.
and then supervisors, and then the engineers under them. Yeah.
What is the biggest? Is it finding new customers, being paid? Because I remember when we did it for local authority, it sometimes felt very heavy that we weren't being paid quick enough. The policies are being paid.
It's always a difficult one starting up with new big companies, because they're 60, 90-day terms. Yeah. Once you get in the swing of it, you're getting your money in 90 days. They are good payers. They will pay you. It's just fighting that burn.
That first burn, yeah.
I mean, we have now got, where we've been trading for a long period of time, we've got the cash flow. We can sustain it for the 90 days. So it's not really that much of an issue for us. Right. Clients, we're pretty good, without being big-headed. We're pretty good at what we do, and clients, because everyone in property management and maintenance sort of swaps and knows each other anyway. Yeah. We get referred from a lot of our other customers. Okay. We're just working on sort of building the actual brand so that it stands out and there's an actual brand name behind it. Like I said, I think one of the hardest things is finding the right team and the right people that want to come on the journey with us, I think.
And that's it. I asked you just off air on the pre-chat, how do you retain these skilled operatives? Because, if they're that good, they'll be doing it on themselves in a van. How do you do that?
Again, this is one of the sort of challenges that we face, is getting the right people on board to come on board with us. Employee retention, obviously, money is a big thing for these tradespeople. Paying them the right money. We've got good company values, we've got good company work ethics, and we actually make it a place that people want to work for. I mean, we've got people that have been with us for 15 odd years now, and they're still with us. So without being big-headed, I'd like to think it's a good place for them to work. We look after
it has
them.
an atmosphere and it has a culture that people are doing.
Yeah.
And what in a typical day that I ask, everybody we try and interview here on Entrepreneur Conversations, is what do you do day to day? What does your day look like?
If you ask people in my office, it's not a lot.
We won't ask them.
No, so don't ask them. Customer relationships. So I obviously go out for meetings, meet a lot of our customers, sort of phone calls with the customers. Dealing with the bigger projects and the sort of the higher value projects, the tenders, etc., is what I sort of cast my eye over.
And what does that go to, Reiss? Are you doing extensions or what building? What happens there?
So not really extensions. We, like I said, although we work in a domestic environment, so in houses, we don't tend to go to the end user. So we never really go to the homeowner, for example.
Oh, okay.
It's always via so generally the people that houses we're in, it's the tenant or the person that's renting the property. So all of our questions and things go to the end user, to the client who owns the property. We've just won a lot of voids and rip outs, so we're doing a lot of kitchens, bathrooms for Lambeth Council. Okay. So obviously I'll go through the tendering process with there, make sure we're all on schedule, make sure everything's being run.
And when you do that and you're winning those bigger contracts, is it very competitive? Is there enough fat in it for you on those, or is it more that you're doing your emergency call outs where there's more money? No, I remember back in the day the contracts were great because it was like £500,000 worth of work, but when you looked at the margin.
The margins aren't as good as the emergency works.
Obviously,
Being completely honest with you, they're not as good. But what the bigger works gives us is the stability to then continue to grow,
and retention of employees.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
And then what will you do? Carry on growing it organically, or will you buy and bolt on other companies to buy in their management and their skill set?
So a mixture of both, to be completely honest with you. We've like I said, we've got the divisional managers who are looking at naturally growing their divisions up organically. Again, one of the things that at the moment we tend to use subcontractors for is the fire and security side of it. That I want to bring in-house and bolt that onto the business, whether that's buying a business or bringing the right people and team in to grow that in-house. Air conditioning again is something. Air source heat pumps is something that we are doing through subcontractors.
So what you'll do there is you'll then sell those new services into your existing customer base,
exactly,
and make them aware of that. And just for our listeners and viewers, how will you do that? Will you do that with going physically to see them and explain that we now do this service? Will it be, how will you promote that?
So like I said, it's probably a mixture of both. Obviously, part of my job role day to day is sort of speaking with customers, making sure everything's on track, so it gets mentioned into conversations. And there's been a few more conversations recently where they go, oh, we didn't know you did so-and-so. And it just naturally will grow. We're also looking at, like I said, the branding, marketing, and we'll end up building a sort of like a newsletter that we send out once a month to let people know what services we do. And
I think that is powerful.
Sort of office,
it's like a reminder, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like you can touch them sort of monthly with that piece of information. Yeah. And even if you're just generally talking about the industry and what other products and services that you're bringing to, or showing them products that you do. Yeah. We do a newsletter now for my consultancy side, and you do see traction in that.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to take a moment to let you know about Baddow Park Mastermind. I have created a mastermind for high-level entrepreneurs. There's only 16 spaces and we've only got a few left. If you often find you're the biggest fish in the pond at other masterminds, click the link in the pod description because this might be just for you. Now, back to the pod. You said earlier in the pre-chat that is your wife actually working in the company with you?
So my wife is the financial director of the business. Yeah. She's a chartered accountant and but obviously manages around childcare and
it's awkward. And
she's just signed on to the PTA as well, which is another full-time job as well.
Why did she do that?
I know.
I have the energy at work.
I love her to pieces, but she puts too many eggs in her basket sometimes. Yeah.
And what's the team look like in the office? How many people have you got there?
So I think we're 16 team. So we are quite heavy in the office at the moment. We are just, like I said to you in the pre-chat, we're just trying to consolidate all the systems and processes to make sure we are a well-oiled machine. And then we're going to then start pushing with more engineers and more work, what have you.
And I asked you earlier that you're doing in-house growth for technicians as well? And
yes.
What is that, shadowing or apprenticeships or buddying? How does that work?
So a little bit of everything. We have all walks of life come in for trainee positions and apprentices. I am coming from an apprenticeship myself, a massive believer in apprentices. Yeah. So I think we've got about 6 or 7 apprentices on the go. We are just about to press go on a training academy in our office. So we're going to have an NIC approved training centre that we can actually bring electricians through and also attract the right talent to us. We also get sort of people that want to change in their career and come to us and shadow and be a trainee and
I think you're right what you say there, Reiss, that it is important because we're here we have the local college that does a big sort of catering and hospitality course. I think it's like a degree course they do, and we let them do their work experience here. We pay. There's a bit of money gets paid, but I think they're not meant to be paid or whatever. But they have to do it as part of their course. But it allows us, out of say 6 really good people, to see who we might want to pick to be a stayer down the line. Yeah. And I think that's always given us comfort that we've got a workforce sitting there as we need ready to go. Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard to find, this English person that wants to graft. Back in the day, before COVID, I had 4 Polish boys, older men, work for me, bricklayers, plasterers, really good, hard-working guys. They went back at COVID. I never replaced them. They never came back. They went back to where they were, and the economy went up there to find people to come and do that work. Wow.
I think there are some people out there, but like you say, it's few and far between.
It's hard.
I don't know if social media has changed it a little bit. They see all the influencers and want to sit behind a camera doing
stuff and not actually doing some hard graft. Yeah. What's your goal in your head? To build to sell, to build to retire? How's that? Have you got that in your vision of what you see it being?
So I've got a 5-year plan, and my 5-year plan is for us to be ready to sell if I wanted to. Okay. If it gets to where I want it to be after the 5 years, if the right offer comes along, we would be open to it, but I haven't really got any intentions of selling it because if I can get myself out, I've just hired, like I said, my new. I've actually just hired my replacement. I hope. So he will be he will step up into the CEO role, and then if he just runs it, and I can have a bit of a back seat and a bit of an easy life and claw.
Hard to find him, or have you had your eye on this person?
No. I got approached by an agency and they said, we've got this fantastic CV that we think would fit perfectly with you. It's come from a competitor. Right. And we're sort of having a chat with him. He was the CEO of one of our competitors, and he said, look, I've taken them from 3 million up to 25 million pounds, and I'm ready to do it again.
That's very exciting.
And he's still young and keen and ready to go. So, we're...
Because that saying has come up before in the podcast is that, you find someone that has done it, and then you need to ask them whether they can still do it, and then are they prepared to do it? Because it's a lot of work, isn't it?
100%.
It's a bit of commitment, and they need to be paid well enough or remunerated in some way to do it. And are they still prepared to do it? Yeah. I find that whole mechanics of it, that you need to, when you're talking about getting the business ready to sell, I do not run the wedding venue. I have a team that do it, and you're still in the business at the moment. So that is the smart money, isn't it? That if it comes ready to sell, you can say, well, there it is, and there is the team,
and that's how it works.
And I'm over here, and that's what you do. Yeah. I think the hardest thing is, Reiss, they do that. They give you these millions of pounds. Then what do you do?
And then what do you do?
You either build another company, you don't invest in stuff. Are you owning property? Are you putting your fast pounds into slow pounds, as we say?
So we are looking at a commercial property at the moment for us to. We will own it as a separate company, but then lease it to the work so that we can work out of it. It's just making sure everything's stable and ready before we go.
You need to look at that, because you'll find for the borrowing of it, it might be a better dynamic that the company actually own it.
Oh, okay.
But check with your accountants. But the rules have changed on that slightly. Yep. But if you can see that you're the operator of it, it's very much more tax efficient on disposal. But and my other two pennies on that, Reiss, is make sure you buy oversize of what you need. Make sure I would double the size. It'll give you somewhere to grow to, but in the meantime, you can rent half of that out to somebody else that actually might pay the mortgage on it, or however you're set up. But I really think that how you work that when I'm working with clients now is these fast pounds are coming in. There's a lifestyle, and how many holidays do you want, and cars and houses, whatever it is. But there is a point where you say, we need to not be giving the tax man all this money. We need to be putting it into something else. And I think the safe money is commercial, especially where we are here in the South East. It's hard to find a good unit. I don't know how well you're doing. Where are you local to where you are at South End?
So Rochford is where we're based.
Rochford is good, isn't it? There is some property up there, isn't there? Yeah. And I think this economy is changing. There's going to might be a bit more. Yeah, I like Rochford. That estate is where James has got the roller city as well.
We are literally opposite.
Are you?
Opposite that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been on that estate. It's a great estate. It's okay geographically. I mean, it's a little bit there, but you can still get back on the A127 and rock into London if you had to, or whatever. Yeah. Is London a hotspot for you? Do you work much there?
Yes. Yeah. We've got guys in London every single day, all every postcode
Have you
of
really?
London. Yeah.
I was up there last night with Ollie. We did some work up there, and it was like, where do you park? How do you marshal that parking?
Honestly, it's one of the headaches. The girls in the office trying to find somewhere that's not permit or pay for parking. And I mean, sometimes it's actually cheaper to get tickets than we just obviously cost that into the jobs of.
What, on the judgment that you might not get one?
On the judge that you won't get a parking space. Yeah. It's an absolute nightmare. But the only difference, obviously, parking tickets aren't tax deductible, so you can't take that off you.
I didn't know that.
No.
Really?
No. Yeah.
What, they're a punitive fine to the person that was in the van?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So even if you paid it
on
their
business,
behalf...
Well, the business pays it because it's cheaper than thingy, but it's not tax deductible, apparently.
I didn't know that. So learn that if you're listening, learn that. Yeah. All right. And how are you? Are you enjoying it? Is it stressful? Do you worry? What goes on?
James, I love what I do.
Do you? Oh, good.
Honestly, I absolutely... like you said, if you sold it for millions and you got, what would you do? Yeah. I'd go again. Yeah. I'd have to go again because I love the people that I speak to. Yeah. I love the work that we do. I love it. I'm probably less stressed than I should be with 52 staff, but I've got a fantastic team around me that deal with a lot of my stresses for me.
I think back in the day when we would take on a local authority, and we'd take a 3-year contract on, and we'd rent a depot, and you start going that. And you said something to me earlier. You said, your wife is in there as the finance director, and when it's right, we're going to do this. And I kind of disagree a bit because I think sometimes you've almost got to just hold your breath and dive in with 2 feet, because it will come right. Yeah. Or it might be you might wait too long. And I found sometimes I thought we've only got a 3-year contract. We're committing to a 5-year lease on this yard. Yeah. And it forced us to then build up a whole set of other customers in Darlington or wherever we moved the business up to. And it kind of forced our hand to do it. Yeah. But back then it was stressful, and you were trying to always find good technicians, tree surgeons. You just get a truck and you're in business. We had to retain them, and they had to be highly qualified, and they had to be, like your guys, all up to bit with their tickets. And it was, it is hard work. My ops managers back then, they were really tough guys. It's like bloody herding school children half the time.
It can be sometimes with the engineers. Work, it can be.
And what happens with you? What do you do on leisure time? Do you do a leisure thing? Do you have a thing that you do?
Not really. I love business.
I have my camper van, and that's it.
I am a boring man, honestly. I've got 2 young daughters, so I've got a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, and they are my world. I absolutely love them to pieces, and they are that's what I do on the weekends, is I spend my time with them. If I go on holiday after 2 days, I'm bored. I want to get itchy feet, and I'm like, right, I've got to get back to this. I've got to do this. And some of my staff say they hear more from me when I'm on holiday than they do.
You've got loads of time, haven't you, on your phone to do
exactly.
stuff.
So, like I said, it's I'm the same as everyone. I will play golf. I will watch football if it's on, but. No, I love the business.
It's very strange. I mean, this is Entrepreneurs Conversations. We are a weird old bunch, aren't we? Because we think, we'll be the master of our own universe. We work all the time. We're avidly trying to find new ideas and learn more stuff. Yeah. We're sort of like, the whole holiday thing is such a trait. I go on holiday and I go, no, we're going to do this whole sunbed thing. I'm like a day, 2 days max, like you were saying, and I'm on a building site having a look round. Well, this is very interesting. Now they're pouring that concrete, and off you go. And it's it is a funny old thing, and it's the same with Sundays. I hate Sunday afternoons. I would much prefer to get back into the team, but you can't really start talking to the team just yet because it's not Monday morning.
I get told off for messaging them out of hours, and she's like, "Why are you talking to them? They're off. They don't want to talk to you."
You're saying I want to pre-prep the big start for Monday.
Yeah. Funny breed.
And what's been the darkest time? We always ask this question and try and get this reaction of what was the shittiest time that happened.
There's numerous times. I mean, I've had engineers that have taken half my business before and stole clients from me and bits and pieces, which obviously you can't, there's not a lot you can do. No. We obviously sign NDAs and bits and pieces with some of the engineers, but
it's kind of worthless sometimes, isn't it? On the pursuance of it.
Exactly. It's going to cost me more in time, and I could go out and find 10 new clients that would do it. After COVID, so we were quite heavily involved in electrical projects during COVID time. All of those companies just went under, so I think we got knocked. I think it was about 350,000 all in 2021.
That's a lot of money, mate, isn't it?
It's a lot of money. Yeah, which there was a few sleepless nights of how are we going to pay the guys? Where's it going to go? What's it going to go?
Did you take some of the loans? Did you take some of them?
So we did take a bounce back loan, the £50,000 that was available. We haven't touched it. No. We just had it there sitting just in case. Yeah. It worked out quite well for us with the furlough scheme that operated because I actually remember it was March 23rd because it was the day after my birthday, and he came on the TV and announced that everything closed and no one was going out. You had to stay from home, and it was a lockdown. And I kind of thought, well, are we emergency response or are we not emergency response? What does sort of... And I think for that week, everyone had that week off. I didn't furlough anyone. It was just they had that week off while we decided what was happening. And then they announced that we could go to work. Building sites were still going, but with the certain protections, bits and pieces. And I had a chat with the engineers that work for me. I said, look, you can have furlough, but it's 80%. Yeah. I said, I can't top you up 20% because we're not earning anything. I said, so you can take furlough or you can come to work and I'll pay you your 100%. Yeah. That's what it is. It worked out really well because half of them said they wanted the furlough and they wanted to stay safe and they had vulnerable family members and what have you. The other half wanted to work. So when we were a bit quieter, and we just built up from there. But
here it was the first bit, and then we were going to do 6 bedrooms here as a project further into the future. And when that second lockdown happened, we built a proper campsite here. We shut the big gate at the estate. And we all lived separately. We had camper vans, and I lived in one of the offices here, and we were so bored. Yeah. Those guys weren't getting anything. Like my plumbing contractor, my chippies, my electricians, they were too small. You know, they didn't have rates they could get back. They didn't have any of those things.
Yeah.
They were absolutely got nothing.
Yeah.
And they came here. We all sort of were separate. And after 14 days, we're trying to work separately from everybody. We went, well, we've been here that long, and no one's sick. And then we ended up having barbecues, and and that was it. But the gates were locked, and we were just this micro bubble.
Lovely.
And the weather was, do you remember the weather was really
gorgeous,
nice?
Wasn't it? Yeah.
And we ripped the top of the house off, and we just put all these bedrooms on it. Oh, it was just, it was a weird time. And I'm doing all this work, I'm spending all this money, I'm thinking, will this wedding venue ever open up again? Ever? You know, will anyone?
Well, that was
ever,
the unknown, wasn't it?
We might be getting married online. You know, what's going to go on?
Yeah.
But it was very strange times, and we reflect. And I said this on a podcast the other day. It's like a bloody dream. It's like you can't even remember when it was. It's like we've erased it because it was so painful. Yeah. I remember doing the bounce back loan. I was with Christina, my secretary. And she said, and we pressed that button and we put this in here. Oh, you're going to get a message on your phone. And the message came up. Oh, there's a code. Put the code in here. Oh, within 48 hours. And it went ping.
And it was straight in your bank account.
Money.
Yeah.
I mean, crikey.
I know.
You got 50 grand. It was the fastest £50,000 that ever got given to me.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and we did the same. We had it there and we just gave it all back.
Like, give the government their dues. They were fantastic during that. All the furlough was in your account when you paid it. Yeah. It was organised. I know they're paying for it now slightly.
We are paying for it now, but it's, does Rachel worry you?
Slightly, James, but I also think they're going to do what they're going to do anyway. So what?
We have to be an ecosystem, don't we? Almost in our own businesses.
I think so. I think you make your own.
Yeah.
The taxes do what the taxes do. The people who come in do what they're going to do, and you've just got to.
It goes Brexit, interest rates, furloughs, all these things happen. As seasoned business owners, it's kind of, we know this. If it's too good, you know something's just about to happen. So somewhere along the line, to marshal, you know, and people listening, to have that finance director, that bookkeeper, that in-house accountant, it makes so much difference. You know, I know that there's money squirreled away in these secondary accounts and stuff, and that, you know, everything's put away, and there is cushions there. And I even sometimes when I look at the amount of commercial property that you own, they are cushions in their own right, because if it all came down to it, we could sell one of those or lend against one of those or whatever. But that comes with experience, and it comes with time, and you grow into those more secure positions. I feel sorry for younger people coming forward, because and we'll talk about it a bit recently, and hark on about it, but this government are just stifling anybody wanting to get into business. It's just not good, is it?
No, it's not good at all for our economy or anyone at all.
It's not.
Yeah.
What has been the sort of the big hurrah moment for you? What's that been like? Where you feel exhilarated of what's happened?
I mean, I still get excited over when, like, contract wins and bits and pieces and meeting people. Probably not as much as I did at the start of it. Like I said, I think it was October time, we had our end of year accounts, and we do an end of year party, and we sit down with all the staff, and this is how we've done this year, this is what we're looking for, blah 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 blah. And we hired out the top of a bar in Southend, and all the engineers were there, all the office staff were there, and there was 50 odd people there, and just standing back and going, I've built this. This is all of these people work for me.
There without
all of these people, and whilst it is a little bit scary at the same time, it's also quite a bit of a pat on the back.
It is. You know, I agree with that. I think that I don't need to do all this. I do it because I absolutely love doing it, like you alluded to there as well. Yeah. And it's that camaraderie thing, those systems when they really work together, how it works with staff thinking for themselves. I'm a great one of not standing behind someone with a stick to do their job. You know, that's your job. This is the contract. Get on with it. You know, and I do find that, you know, that there is a kickback to us as the owners to have that sort of feeling of that. You know, without me, none of this is possible, and we're doing a great service. We're letting people have a career with us, and it is wholesome, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I genuinely, at that party, I stood back and I went, It's
That's
good.
good, isn't it?
Everyone's
Yeah.
laughing and drinking and having a good time, and it's
Yeah.
like it's all because of me. Don't get me wrong; it comes with stresses and everything else as well. But
And how do you deal with that? Are you all right with that, with the stress of it?
yeah, I'm very not blasé, but I think you either deal with it or you don't. There's and there are there's a saying, and I can never ever remember it, but there's some things that you can control. Deal with the things that you can control. Things that you can't control will be what they'll be.
Yeah. I think I've said this. Have I said this before, Ollie, about the porcelain tiles? Am I repeating myself? But when you cut a porcelain tile, you'll know. When you cut a porcelain tile, you need to put pressure on and keep it on consistently. Otherwise, it will splinter and crack or whatever. And it's kind of that's how it feels with the businesses. You kind of need to sort of, once you've started that system or that process or that quality or whatever, you're on. Yeah. And you're kind of on. And the pressure is kind of like that. And it kind of then becomes just part of everyday life, as opposed to, I'm feeling pressured. You know, the worry thing, I've said before, worry is cancelled by action. Just take action against worry, and that should just neutralise that. But I always want to ask people when I'm interviewing them on the thing that, how do they deal with that? And it's either we get numb to it or we just get better at marshalling problems, you know? I
think I've got better at marshalling problems. I mean, people would have used to come to me with a problem and said, oh, do this, do that. And I would have gone away and thought, right, just do that. That's what you've got to do. Yeah. Do it, it's done, it's sorted.
But they never stop, do they?
No.
As a business owner or an entrepreneur, the problems never actually stop. So if you're going to get into this weird world, get ready, because it's constant, isn't it?
Bigger and better problems.
They are, and they're bigger and better problems. I like that, bigger and better problems. But it never does stop. I invite you to have a look over my shoulder at my newsletter. If you want to hear about the things that grab my attention each week that could bring you value, sign up in the episode description. Now, back to the pod. So, Ollie, we are now getting used to your fabulous jingle making with your artistic sort of way of making all this stuff. And this is your one. This is...
It's Tombola time.
It is Tombola time. Here we go. Right, Reiss, I'm going to spin this. And we're going to get a ball of the Tombola time of entrepreneurial questions.
Okay.
And I'll open this. You've got question number.
So I'm number 17 on that one.
17. What have we got, Ollie?
What's a decision you made that you're glad your team never found out about?
Oh my God. A decision that we made that the staff and anyone never found out about.
Yeah, one that you might have kept quiet.
I think my staff have found out about everything I've done through the wash eventually in one way or another.
Is there one that you did and then it came through and then...
Obviously the office move was a big one that I didn't tell them about, that we were moving offices and we was looking at bigger offices at the time. I didn't tell them until we'd actually signed the deal that we were moving. Obviously that's just a leasehold one at the moment, but and then I just sort of said, we're moving to this office. Hurrah.
And when you look at that leasehold, go back to that for these slow pounds, would that equate to a mortgage, that lease?
Oh, 100%.
You've got to do it, Reiss.
We looked at, it's a slightly funny story on that, we actually looked at buying that property, the property that we're in, because it had so much potential for our growth, etc. And again, we raised the finance, we got everything, all the mortgage in principle, everything all set up, ready to go. And we said to the estate agents, we said, we're ready to go with it. Someone came in as a cash buyer and brought it out from under us, which was a little bit frustrating. Oh. But then personally, we had an offer. Well, there was my forever home. We're in Canooden, out the back of Rochford.
Right.
I've got about 4 acres of land, and it's my forever home.
Okay.
That came up for sale, and we obviously took the money that we had in the business out. And so
I
always think things happen for a reason, and if we'd have brought that then, we wouldn't have been able to afford my forever home. So
I think your question saying, and just do it again, just say it one more time, just for listeners and viewers.
What's a decision you made that you're glad your team never found out about?
I mean, I knew that the house here had planning permission through grandfather rights because it had been doing weddings for over 10 years, and it was the 10-year milestone you had to get over. but I never really told them that it was a matter of weeks of 10 years.
Oh.
It wasn't like 11 years.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't like 10 years, 10 months. It was like 10 years, 3 weeks. And we got challenged on when we were doing the development by the local authority. You haven't got planning permission to do a wedding venue. And we had to go back and say, no, actually we have, because you were issuing us licenses for us to be licensed for weddings back 10 years. But it was only
10 years
10
and 1
years.
day.
It was like 10 years, 3 weeks. Well, that's a bit squeaky. Well, I think if I had told Kelly that, she would have thought my whole world was going to collapse. So that was a bit tight, to say the least. And I kind of made a decision to keep that slightly quiet till we got the okay that did fit. And they kind of begrudgingly said, yeah, okay. Because they would have given us planning anyway, but they could have put restrictions on it. You can only do so many weddings, or you can't do anything after a certain o'clock. And you know, sit down, and they didn't do that. So we'd do tombola time. Hit it. We need them every time, Ollie. Come on. Here we go.
It's tombola
Oh,
time.
I love a feature. Here we go. Right, we have got number 11. Question 11. What have we got, Ollie?
What's a truth about your industry that most insiders know, but almost no one says out loud?
Well, I think the truth about our commercial property is what I just said to Reiss there, is most businesses pay as much money as they could actually have as mortgage to own what they rent off of me, but they don't do it. I think that's a kind of I don't want to broadcast that too much, even though I'm saying it down this camera to my viewers and listeners, but that is the truth. I think you should all buy your own property. And I'd say to you, Reiss, you should, because that is giving you slow pounds and stability into the future. But most people that are paying on a lease, they could own the property.
Yeah.
I think that would be my answer to that.
Looking at sort of the businesses in your estate, is there any businesses that it makes sense for them to lease?
Yeah, there are a sort of office-based companies that just sell commodities online and stuff like that. It wouldn't do them a lot of build-up, but it might do if they wanted to own it in their private name. They could do that, but the taxation on that's quite heavy now as well. What would it be in your business? What type of thing?
I was going to say something that's sort of known in the industry is the amount of sort of cowboys that are out there that are doing it without accreditations and bits and pieces, and I think everyone knows it happens, but everyone keeps a bit
Have they
quiet
got the right insurance? You know, have they got the approved stamp certification for install?
Yeah.
You know, even with us now, even with all our machinery, everybody's got to have a forklift license, and it's got to be updated. Everybody's got to have proper things to drive the tractors. All of that. Well, we do all of that, and I'm with you, Reiss. There's lots of people that just swing it, don't they?
Swing it and don't. It never really hits the wash, and it's all well and good until
something
it
goes
hits the fan,
wrong.
and then you're And I think that's one of the things that's not really talked about in the construction industry is that there's a lot of people that think they can do it, but not. And there's not really much regulation on it. It's all down to the homeowner or the person that's ordering the works.
And it could end up being the homeowner being responsible for
100%.
that man in a van. You know, it could easily end up in their lap, couldn't it? You know, that's right. Right, here we go. One more time. Go, Ollie. Here we go.
It's tombola time.
Right, here we go.
Grab that in. And we're number 4.
Question number 5.
Number 4. Is branding important for your business?
Absolutely.
So 100%. Like I said, we've not very good at marketing and branding previously. We've obviously just sold ourselves on what we do and when we turn up and being reliable and doing the job that we said. But something we're looking at now is making sure that the brand is visible. Everyone knows who we are. All the vans are sign written, and I think it makes you stand out and makes people.
Well, I think it makes you be professional as well. That they think that we're paying this higher money. Oh yeah, well here come the team. Here is the van with the stuff. You know, I think that's very.
I think it also, like I said earlier, attracts the right engineers to you because they can see you've got a brand behind you. They can see you're not a man in a van that's gonna knock them and gives them security.
I think, Ollie, that question you've just asked us is I'm struggling to find out when it wouldn't be. And especially if you're looking to build that business to eventually do an exit on it. You know, our brand that we've spent years building up here as the wedding venue is about excellence and a quality, all those things. But even with the letting of the property, people recommend us because we are fair and we do it at market rate, and we will break a lease if you've got a genuine problem, and we can find someone else to go.
Do you have a brand behind that though, the letting? Because
not really. It's really just the Baddow Park brand of that, and we own other property elsewhere. That's probably the one exception that you don't
That's
need.
what I was going to say.
We've got such a big waiting list for if someone goes down, we fill it up straight away. It's not really that important, but we're what is the brand? People know it's me behind it, and they know they can trust that if there is a problem, we will fix it.
Yeah.
But it's not actually a brand to be seen, where the wedding thing is very different. Ruskins was a big brand.
I've got a question. So with the wedding business, Baddow Park House, obviously that's at Baddow Park House. When you buy your next wedding venue, how are you going to carry the Baddow Park House brand across to a new venue that isn't going to be at Baddow Park House?
No, we wouldn't.
But would you not want to use that branding and everything that you've built up to...
We thought about that, whether we actually go into that and have a portfolio of wedding venues, and we think that the brand needs to stay on the pile of bricks that it's at. You could have the True Loves group up here that own these different venues, but the venues, because they are geographically branded, and it's Baddow, we're in Baddow, and it's Baddow Park House, then it stays with it on that.
Do you not think that, so like people who get married here and their friends don't want to get married at the same wedding venue, is there not something in, but they do have a sister venue?
Yeah. I don't know the answer to that.
that was kind of what you were saying, though, wasn't it? You'd have the group that it's, like you say, it's a group of companies, and you own.
There are others, Ollie, that have done that. There are others there they're sort of like country houses or something, and they own lots of country houses that do weddings. You know, it's like being called Green King. You know, you're going to get Green King breweries or whatever you're going to get, or host group. You know, this, that, and the other. But we haven't done that, and I'll let the cat out of the bag here. Whether I would do another wedding venue is questionable. That's a very vanity project. To get that to really earn and churn is sort of 4 to 5 years, and that's where we are now, and it is earning and churning. But I don't think you'd go into it, and the industry is in trouble on the lower end. You know, there are wedding venues coming up for sale because it's just too hard. This climate for people to afford that sort of 25, 35, 45,000 pound is tough. Yeah. And there's so much competition. And people are always needing to get married, but they do different ways of getting married. They get married abroad on a package. You know, there's different ways of doing it. So whether I'd pile into that, I have that. We use it for the entrepreneurial thing. We have the dinner there tonight. We do all these other things. But whether I would pile in to do another one, I want to sweat the management team, because they're a strong management team and they could cope with another venue. Whether I do that or not, I don't know. It's questionable. The climate has changed. And I think that's good for entrepreneurs' conversation. You have to start thinking like that. Should we just do it because that's what we do? No. It needs to make commercial sense. And it needs to be a robust model that has profits. So profits can buy better quality staff, can buy upgrades, can buy improvements, can buy brand awareness. You need to make profits. It's no good spinning your wheels with just turnover. You've got to actually be a profitable company.
I say turnover's vanity and profits are sanity,
Absolutely.
Don't they?
We get companies in here, they're doing like 600 grand, but they do like 60% profit.
Yeah. Because
whatever the widget is they're selling, whatever. Well, you don't need to do this great big turnover thing. Yeah. And you have another company, they're doing 25 million and retaining 3% or 2%. You think, God, why would you do that spinning?
Yeah.
You know, such a lot of stress of managing all that money and turnover to get this out of it. You know, and there's different models for different things. It's all about what you've worked hard with your wife to do, is to get that model that no, we're at this price point. This is where we are. And because we turn up on time, get the job done, and if the job didn't work, we'll come back and we just do that little tweak that went wrong or whatever it is, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
And I think your job, Reiss, is about taking problems off of people's desks and quietly getting on and solving them. And I say, no, just use the drain people that we've always used. They always come here at 5 o'clock in the morning. They empty the septic tanks out. The smells have gone by every time everybody comes back. They've never caused a problem. They always come. Just use them. But they are £35 a trip dearer. I know. Just use them.
Yeah, and that's exactly how we've got where we are today, because we are just a
and
problems.
It's an experienced buyer. It's an experienced buyer that knows to spend that extra 30, 60 quid, 150 quid, because he knows, I want it off my desk.
We have clients that go and they use Joe Blogs because they're cheaper, and they come back to us. They come back to us and they say, they did this, or they didn't do this, or they couldn't do this, and it's just, let's just give it to RTR. RTR know what to do and get it sorted.
Absolutely. And I think those managers of buildings and those managers of institutions and stuff like that, if they're smart, they actually know how to spend the money, and they do know, and they know how to be comfortable to give the problem away, and trusting. Sometimes you'll say, but I can't give you a price for it because we need to investigate what the problem is first.
It's false economy though sometimes, isn't it? You buy cheap, you pay twice, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's a very good saying. Yeah. What do you want, Ollie? Another ball?
I think we can go on to what we're reading now.
Yeah.
What are we reading?
So listen, this is the jingle. Did we spend a lot of money on that?
Too much money.
I've got to look what I have been reading, because I've been listening to some podcasts. Right, what am I reading? But I haven't read it yet. But it comes highly recommended by Mr. Mark Creaser. So this is Prisoners of Geography, and we'll put it up on the screen. But it's all about how economies work to the geography of the global community and countries. So I'm going to learn all about that, but that's what I'm going to be reading. Okay. Reiss, what about yourself? What do you get into? Do you read or listen?
A mixture of both.
Okay.
Tend to do a lot of driving with my job, going and seeing clients bits and pieces. So I tend to have an audio book on the go while I'm driving. Yeah. I've actually just been given... I was given Traction by Neil Sweeney.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah.
So I read that when I was on holiday. That was a really good book, and sort of.
Did you like it?
I did like it, and I sat down with my wife and I said, I am the ideas man, what have you, so on there. So it was. It
takes
really
a bit of time to get into it, but it is a good book, isn't it?
And there's definitely going to be some bits and pieces that we implement into our business from. And then I've literally just started reading Good to Great by Jim Collins.
Yeah, it's great. I've probably read that 6 times.
Yeah,
it's a very good book.
Yeah,
very good book. Yeah,
that's what I haven't got far into it, so I don't know spoilers. But
well, we went to this university and did a speech for this entrepreneurial course they were doing there, and in the speech I mentioned. Felix Dennis's book. Have you ever read that?
No.
So Felix Dennis is called How to Get Rich, and he was a publisher, and he just globally really took on. I mean, he died, no children, this, that, and the other. He never was married. He lived the life. He was like a rock star, and he was very flamboyant. But he was a great author, and he'd written this book, and it's really good, and it's a go-to book if you've not read that, and I think I have mentioned it on the pod. Go and buy a copy for Felix Dennis, and all the money now goes to a trust that builds forests. And he owns this great big forest in the Midlands somewhere, because he was in the print. That's his way of giving back from all the trees that he used in print. But it was, a great book. If we do, Reiss, if we want our bath tap sorted, or our electrics fixed, or our building looked after, where do we go? Where do they find you?
So. Website's currently under construction. Will be done very, very soon. We are the RTR group based in Rochford. Telephone number is 01702 870078. Give us a call and we'll come out and give you a hand. So
thank you for coming down.
That's okay.
I look forward to having dinner with you tonight, because we've got everybody coming here tonight. But
famished.
Many thanks. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, James. Thanks.
Good. If you've enjoyed this episode, like, subscribe, leave a comment. There's someone you know that could gain something from what we do here. Pass the pod. And if I'm lucky, I'll see you on the next one.